We're back, guys. It was a very, very, very low kill game here. That's a lot of varies. Only 5 kills in total to the side of Afreeca, who did take this one away from BBQ. They made it look easy. It was very calculated, very shrewd from them, but they did eventually win.
Thanks very much to Baconator at Bacon88ER on Twitter, who confirmed that this seems to be the lowest kill LCK perfect game of all time. Kingzone versus BBQ was 6 kills earlier in this year, and tied for second lowest in any region. In fact, JD Gaming versus OMG in 2017 LPL Summer was less than 5 kills. I can only assume it was 4. Very hard to win a game with any less. The Monte Cristo dream was enacted, almost bloodless, but certainly this was Afreeca Freecs flexing their might after losing game number 1.
The amount of times that the Gnar survived too, the Tom Kent's play was quite good as well. Tucson was already there, as you mentioned, devouring him out of Cho'Gath's mouth as the feast animation was happening. It was a really nice set of plays there from the Tom Kent in this one. We'll see if he does win that MVP. Might be a little bit hard to give it to anyone here, as it was a very low kill game. Overall, just a team effort to take this one down. I'm
loving this highlight package as well. Probably a team effort to put together a highlight package of a non-interactive game. Really clean stuff by the Afreeca Freecs, showing off a strategy that maybe they wanted to hold on to, one that we'd seen, but in a losing effort from another team. But now one that we see Afreeca Freecs has certainly been able to perfect, this Kindred and Rumble with Smite duo. Remains to be seen if we see this too much after the changes on 8-14. This game is closed out. The 5th kill was registered as they finish off the Ezreal, I believe, as the Nexus goes down.
In the pool, most damage goes to Gnar. We mentioned that was the big hole in the draft for Cho'Gath, just in the top lane. Picking it 4th, allowing Afreeca to counterpick it on the opposite side, on the blue side, and then the Anivia last pick, which you guys can see, basically did nothing. Did more than the Gragas and the Trundle, but still did nothing compared to other Anivias. It is going to be Aiming who does pick it up. He did have 4 of the, actually all 5 of the kills.
Yeah,
so,
baby, 100% kills. Not kill participation, but kills. And that is the second 80 carry on Afreeca Freecs to pull off this very unlikely stat line. Kramer went 9-0 for the Afreeca Freecs in a perfect game. And now Aiming has gone 5-0 in this game. Not to be outdone.
That's interesting to see this younger player, obviously going through some off-the-rift troubles, just coming in and being a huge staple for this Afreeca team. Even more so over the older Kramer, the more experienced Kramer, to come in and just kind of take his spot away from him forcefully by just straight up playing better is always interesting to see. Definitely deserving of the spot. Another young player, Keen, over here. Had a great game on the Gnar this time around.
Afreeca Freecs risked a lot to keep Aiming in the roster, of course, after his controversy in the spring season that saw Rascal for the same crime put to the side for a while. Aiming is the player they want to build around. He is their true starter. Kramer does see play from time to time, but that's 2 Varus games in a row where Aiming has just been outstanding.
Yeah, take the Varus away and also take the Kindred away from Spirit would be my other advice. But either way, let's go to the pick and ban and see how it goes down.
Game number 3 here. An unlikely one between BBQ and Afreeca, but so far it's gone blue side. So that's one omen that does work for the side of BBQ Olivers, and they're just going to ban away the Tom Kench. They did it in game 1, and they've seen enough. They saw it firsthand, and they'd never want to see it again.
Just take that away. We'll see what happens with the Kindred as we do go along. It was banned by Afreeca as its 3rd ban, actually. So they just didn't want to give it first pick even over to BBQ, over to Trick. Some respect shown there. And this time they're going to ban the Swain, actually.
It's not going to allow the same comp to be enacted by BBQ Olivers, who was a first pick Swain in game number 1 at the apparent cost of Nocturne, Galio, and friends, but Afreeca Freecs weren't able to win that game. BBQ going to ban the Talia on blue side. I wonder if Afreeca Freecs will ban the Nocturne or not.
Leaves the Kindred, which was the 3rd ban for Afreeca in game number 1.
But the funny kind of mind games here are, let's say they don't ban Nocturne or Kindred. What do Afreeca Freecs want on red side? It's probably Kindred, given they banned Nocturne on blue. They're going to leave both open. And it's a weird thing, because normally we just see the Nocturne insta-locked. But the cost will be Kindred Shen, you'd imagine, on the red side, which does remove a lot of the power away from BBQ.
It's so hard, you know, the Nocturne is available. You take the Nocturne away, Kindred Shen is there, but if you take the Kindred, then it's Nocturne Shen. Both seem pretty bad. It feels like Afreeca kind of won this early part of the draft.
Be very surprising not to see the Shen taken. Obviously, Kindred could be delayed to Kuro's pick if they want. There are a couple more mid laners flexing the Nocturne mid lane.
Yeah, exactly.
In solo queue in Korea, Nocturne with Smite, as you can imagine, obliterates Raptors. So we'll wait and see.
It really does.
I don't think it's going to happen, but we should just put it out there because we mentioned at the start of the season, you know, shouted out Vedius, etc., and then no one played it. But we're seeing it more and more in solo rank recently. Speaking of a big pick, Aiming is undefeated on the Vladimir, 4-0 on the season. He and Viper together are 11-0, and it's most likely going to be Aiming on the Vladimir again.
Shouldn't be any surprise. Thinking about this Ezreal into the bottom side here for Ghost. And thinking about what did he play in that last game? Actually, it was the Swain, I guess, right?
Was indeed.
Yeah.
Waiting for BBQ here to contest. Again, you can go Sheen first Ezreal and trade pretty well with the Vladimir because you can't fit in a lifesteal item. Most people will go play the Rune King into the Vladimir, but not an Ezreal. BBQ are very, very certain is going to be a Kindred from Kuro's pick on the red side. What are they going to try and claim? A lot left open with some of these supports being accounted for in bans. No Yasuo return either, but Tempt had a great game on the Zoe last time out against Jinair, and he'll take it here as well. Now the option is, do you want Galio and take a Kindred ban, or do you want Kindred and take a Galio ban?
I think that's why Spo has the camera on Kuro here. Thinking about it.
Maybe neither.
Okay.
Interesting. So now they're saying we can double ban for Mundo. I've mentioned that I've been a big proponent of this, is taking Mundo at the final pick in the first round on red side, then double banning. But of course, there are 3 picks that are strong into it. I imagine they're most okay with Crazy playing the Cannon on hit, because Cannon on hit has been the least reliable champion in terms of team fight impact. But I remain to be fully understood as what's going on there, Valdez.
Just says the Freaks are really good. I don't know what that monster in the box was. Don't ask me about that one.
This was the solo kill, and Grace ended up the saddest Yasuo of all time in this game. OGN game the other day.
It was a sad day.
Really, it was just awful. But Grace just kept going down, nothing he could do. It was bullying in the mid lane. We don't like to be proponents of that. And it is the Cannon left open. So of the 3 counters to Mundo, I think you're most okay with Cannon being left open, unless maybe you're facing Smith.
Now you think, what do you ban for the mid lane? They decide to take away the talent, actually. So no Galio ban,
Ooh.
no LeBlanc ban.
Old favorite of Kuro's in the mid lane against the Zoe. We've seen this matchup as well. Lava monstered the Zoe on the matchup. There's so many things you can consider here.
He's seeing how much analysis you can come up with for every pick.
Well, it's Galio, so no analysis required. However, I gotta say, Valdez, isn't this eerily similar to game number 1's comp? The Galio comp once again.
Yeah.
It is largely gonna be about Wombo, and game 1, the Wombos couldn't happen. Shen, Galio flying in on top of a Vladimir Hemoplague is the premonition, but they did lose with a similar draft, so you start to wonder. Ignar has a lot of options available.
He's got the alpha pose going on right now. He's been around the block. He knows what he's doing. Gragas going to be picked up here.
Could be for Ignar. Could not be. We don't know what Crazy's playing yet. I wonder if he just considers the Cho'Gath again. I don't think it's fantastic against Mundo. 2 games in a row on the Cho'Gath. It's good against Galio in team fights. That's one of the big things. And the silence can be valuable against the Vladimir, but doesn't inspire you with confidence as a final pick on blue side. And also consider that The only real dive buddy is the support Gragas. When the Nocturne flies in, doesn't have a Shen, of course, because that was easily sniped away by the Afreeca Freecs. Looking for the jungle pick here for Spirit. He's been known to roll the dice. He's a jungle Lulu player, so it could really be anything on red side.
How about a jungle rumble? Let's add some more AP into the mix. Definitely needs some AD to move the sarcasm away. Or how about just, okay, how about Evelynn?
Yeah, exactly. I did say he's known to play everything. He's also playing Evelynn against our only other Evelynn player in Trick. Very interesting. Spirit jumps on to the Evelynn. They have just the biggest smorgasbord of magic damage you could ever ask for, but that's all they have.
I suppose you just try to overcome all the magic resist that's going to happen. BBQ coach is waving around. He's got MR on the pad. He's like, look at this. Look at it. Build it. Build MR.
So you're saying Wits End Cho'Gath could happen?
Why not?
I don't have a counterpoint
Or
to
how
you.
about just Abyssal Mask, right? Go normal. And he's just the biggest meatball you've had in the front line since Mundo.
Trick has been one of the players who played the most Evelynn in solo rank of any player in Korea, so he definitely knows a lot about this pick. A lot of unseen threats on both sides. Evelynn rolling in with a Shen and a Galio and all sorts of people on his head could be powerful. However, we already saw when the Wombo goes wrong, the cost can be severe. Feels like this draft is more competitive than we might have imagined for game number 3.
This is going to get interesting, you know? Trick this time around, it's not the Spirit Nocturne with no targets. He actually has a couple, right? You can take down the Evelynn, right? If you're able to find her, obviously she's going to be invisible for a lot of the time, but maybe even aiming, you can get a nice amount of damage. Shen with his dodge circle down.
There's a lot of isolated things you feel good about. Mundo into Zoe and Ezreal very strong, but the fact that Afreeca have gone down the well again and it's so AP heavy is really surprising.
It's a really interesting comp. We'll see if Afreeca can pull it out, or will BBQ bring their second win to the LCK.
소환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
Well, guys, there are actually a decent amount of fans coming in here. The last train is going to end soon, but everybody's coming in here being little passion nerds, making sure that they're here to support their teams.
Thank you guys all around the world for joining us. I imagine really late or really early, wherever you are. I guess the European fans waiting for Ready Check, the pre-show for EULCS. That's in about an hour and 15 minutes. I imagine we're going to pretty cleanly send our viewers over to Riot Games after this series.
Yeah, I mean, on the East Coast of America right now, it's 10:17 in the morning. I wonder if there's anyone who watched through the night, though. Those are the true passionate ones.
Or the people with just terrible sleep schedules.
Yeah. Once upon a time, that was me.
And a lot of my play-by-plays suffer from the sleep schedule issues. Kilios, a known offender on that one as well.
Yeah, I've gotten over it recently, actually. I'm really good with waking up early now. I guess maybe I'm just getting older. Achilleos 1 year younger than me.
That's true.
He needs another year.
We'll see what we can do. As we do see Tempt having to contend with the Galio in mid lane. Remember,
Yeah.
Galio left open. So many different ways BBQ could go in their 2 bans. We're still surprised to see Afreeca with so much ability power damage, and we're still waiting for that first Evelynn win. Post rework, only 1 game. It was played by Trick. Did not work out. If you're unfamiliar with the new Evelynn, she only turns invisible after level 6. So in the early game, it's just going to be a bit more of honest ganking before the invisibility comes through.
It's interesting that you even have to say that, I guess, so we just see her so infrequently.
Did you just die there?
Yeah, I kind of just died.
I think you
halfway
disconnected.
my voice is disconnected from the chat for a second. Sorry, guys. It's been known to do that from time to time.
Not even top 5.
Sucks to be a robot.
Weird things
Look
that
at
have happened
Spirit.
today.
Look at this. Ignar's like, hello. He is forced to smite it here. Did have 2 smites, so it was going to be fine anyway. Looking for the flash up here on Keen. Doesn't get it out of him.
It's going to take away the Krugs and then reevaluate. Is the Nocturne, I believe, will hit level 3 from that, as Ignar is still being a huge jerk.
You know, he's got Ignite. I think he could have, like, flashed the wall and killed him right there.
But he got what he wanted. He just got this flash out of Evelyn.
But he could have had first blood.
It wouldn't have actually killed. He doesn't have that much burst damage at level 2.
I don't know. I'm not so sure.
He's still there. Ignar is being the biggest jerk ever.
Trying to wait until the last moment.
Here we go with this play we mentioned.
Gets a TP out of Kuro, who completes it.
It's very smart of BBQ. They continued to linger and said, all right, are you really going to cancel this? And the answer was no. So Galio going to lose. You'd imagine a couple of minions. It's only level 4 temp, so harder to push. Spirit takes bot side scuttle. They clear out a bit of vision. It's a buddy system with Tucson. I think, honestly, Spirit probably needs the emotional support of Tucson after being ravaged in his own jungle by Ignar.
Level 2 Gragas says hello. I wouldn't try that at home, by the way, guys. Just be careful when you're invading as level 2 Gragas. Trick, on the other hand, has just been looking for the dive top side, so you can see he's a little bit behind when it comes to... I did get that, but a little bit behind when it comes to his farm.
It's been a really weird day. Sixth game of the night, in case you are joining us late and wondering why we're still online. It has been 6 hours 20 that we had a podcast at one point. I remember that. Now, I had forgotten about it. Now I remember it.
It wasn't like a highlight broadcast or podcast.
No, it wasn't one of the best episodes. You let us down.
It was kind of one of the fillers.
Yep.
Definitely, you know, it was just pretty basic. I wouldn't go back in the VOD and try to check it out. Maybe next time.
Did we have a name for this episode? No, if we have, we'll have to think about that. Shut up, Shen.
So, Shen's, he's like, what are you doing with this?
Have you noticed that character voices have been way louder on the Observer client recently?
Yeah, we've been noticing that.
By the way,
Shen.
we have the episode name. It's Shut Up, Shen.
Yeah, I like that.
Oh, it could have been WTF2 Teddies.
Yeah. That's
definitely the name of the episode. We had 2 Teddies, as Teddy was given a teddy bear by SpoTV.
It's been a fun day. I've definitely enjoyed this day of casting.
And it still has more to give.
Yeah.
We finally learned how Afreeca Freecs back up and show their rage after a loss. We've learned that they're definitely cleanliness freaks. They're not about getting lots of fights, not getting bloodlust. They just had a close to kill-less perfect game, only 5 kills, all going the way of aiming. But then they back it up with this draft that could work, but is certainly curious. With the last pick Evelyn. I gotta say, last pick Anivia into last pick Evelyn, not inspiring me with confidence.
Just thinking about other picks that start with the character of E, which is what it is in Korean. I don't know any other junglers that really start with that sound that maybe he misclicked.
Would it be Elise?
Yeah, I mean,
another AP jungler?
But yeah, definitely not the choice. I don't know. Just seems like they really just wanted to run the Evelyn. I don't, you know, we just see it so infrequently that it's not really like an obvious point that we can make. Like, oh yeah, this is why they chose it here.
It is, of course, Spirit, who has been the mad scientist of the jungle for many, many moons. Already mentioned his jungle Lulu that was a pick for a hot second there, a couple of games in a row.
Ignar got the ward there.
Playing with fire a little bit. Ghost was falling pretty low earlier, but has been able to heal up. I believe he popped his potion. Spirit's flash still on cooldown, level 5. Trick is level 6, but making this work is tricky. The tether does apply through the W, the Sanguine Pool of the Vladimir, so always an outside chance of making that play work.
This is hard. You know, the Nocturne's really not tanky this early on in the game. Also didn't have any buffs. The dodge circle plus double flash. It was just never going to happen unless you get the engaged startup by Ignar. But even he is not level 6, so gonna ignore the bottom lane for now.
Ready for Tucson to pack up and join Kuro and Spirit on a wombo gank. They can do some very impressive map movements with not a lot of notification very shortly. Now that Spirit has hit level 6. Watching the power farm. The moment you get anyone near Runic Echo, Evelyn looks at the jungle last, does it very, very quickly with the Hate Spike Max. In terms of farm numbers, nice little lead for the Zoe in the mid lane. There was no pressure at all from the Evelyn because she was, of course, being counter-jungled and flashing away from an enemy support Gragas. So, been very easy for the ranged opponent. Just make this no fun for Kuro.
Yeah, Kuro is going to be behind on farm, but there is also going to be basically 0 kill pressure. Merc Treads first. Just going to sit there and soak up the damage from the Zoe. Maybe Temp can look to roam a little bit earlier, you know, push in and try to make something happen with the Nocturne. That's definitely something that can happen. They need to deny vision, and with the map control that they do have, if you guys look around, there's basically no forward wards from the red team, from Afreeca, so you could try to make something like that happen.
It's funny how much of duality there is in the ultra late game. We really like Mundo, level 16, with a few items to run at the Zoe and the Ezreal to trivialize them, but we've already talked about how Afreeca have a 1 damage profile, all magic damage on their side. Only so much magic resist a Zoe and an Ezreal can purchase.
You're looking at a Fancy Val probably for the Zoe eventually. Maybe Merc Treads. I'm not really sure about that one. Ezreal will be harder. If he goes double tier, it would be easy Merc Treads, right?
Definitely more Malmortius some point will be picked up here, probably after his first 2 items.
Yeah, makes more sense. Top lane is easy. The Nocturne is kind of awkward too. Maybe that's part of the reason.
The way you stick the game, though, Valdez, is mid-game. Before there can be any of that itemization, the Galio comp should be able to take off, but notably did not in game number 1. Spirit here. He can't open with his W, because, of course, it will be spouted out by a Ghost. And, yep, here we go.
Need to wait for that flash. Taunt in is going to go for it, and there it is, first blood, as easy as you'd like. As, well, Tucson, the engaged god, makes it all happen.
Too easy for there. In the mid lane, Kuro taking a lot of damage. Didn't even need to use the last caress. Spirit will be able to hold on to that one. The ultimate unnecessary. The Vladimir picking up the kill. Basically ideal. All the way, already well on the way for his Spellbinder. Tempt may have lane pressure. Easy teleport back to lane. Note, remember, we are patch 8.13, so the death timer is going to be much shorter. You're not going to miss a lot. Goes down. Of course, the ward will not spot the Evelyn. Invisibility, but the Ezreal gets to lane without being punished, so it's only really kill gold onto aim.
That's a nice amount of gold. The Vladimir catching up in the CS and aiming on his undefeated Vladimir against this kind of comp. You definitely would like him to be bursting down a bunch of these squishies.
Shen has a QSS. That's a decision you could make. I guess they really, really want the Evelyn into Shen Ultimate for the submarine gank to come off, and they don't want to take no for an answer. There's no other reason to go QSS this early in the game. He's not against suppression. You understand it works against Trouble Bubble. Yeah. Come on, guys. Like,
why not just pick Rengar?
Submarine gank's cool, all right?
If you wanted an AD stealth guy who can submarine gank, I don't know. Seems kind of obvious.
Because there's a warning indicator when Rengar goes in?
I guess so. This is definitely sneakier.
Cloud9 could be this sneaky.
Yeah.
Everyone makes their choices in life. Dam's pushing up mid lane. He still has a lot of presence. The Nocturne, though, waiting for that first paranoia in this game.
Spirit has been a lot more active when it comes to the ganks. Looking for Crazy here now. You can notice that he doesn't have any MR just yet. He has the Bramble Vest. Interesting decision up against the Mundo.
Bramble Vest is picked up because it's a resolve. The Grass of the Undying, you want that auto, and you're going to be punished when it comes to the healing reduction. So it's one of the only ways Cho'Gath can build healing reduction. He's not going to build Morel and Omicron. So I don't mind it, even though at first glance it does come across as counterintuitive.
I've definitely had some Morel and Omicron Cho'Gaths in my game, by the way.
How you doing with those?
Not gonna, well, not for me, but, you know, solo queue. You get some weird builds in there. Obviously in competitive, we won't be seeing it.
2 points into the Justice Punch actually comes out from the Galio, I imagine to guarantee the last hitting. Otherwise, the W leveling is going to be expected. Trick power farming. Every monster in the jungle is his.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to go for the Galio, right? Unless it's just maybe a 3-man gank of some sort. You are going to have a hard time against the bottom lane, especially now that the Shen has QSS. The top lane is Mundo. Even though he's building MR, you don't always know where the Evelyn is. It's not, you know, a safe gank. It's going to take a long time. You can have the Galio come up. So the Nocturne's like, well, I guess I'll just farm to 3 items instead.
It's pretty hard to play Nocturne against Galio Shen, because unless you're attacking the Galio or the Shen, it's going to be a real bad time. And the Evelyn, like you mentioned, is going to be very hard to track down. Even know which side they're on, you need something like the Deep Vision. So the old thing against Evelyn was always warding the camps. There's a ward on the red buff that just times out. You want to ward on the Raptors, they don't have it, so you actually have very little info about the Evelyn.
Yeah. Ping went down onto the Raptors. Maybe they expect a ward there. That was a red ping. So I was wondering, you know, maybe BBQ did it, but actually it was red.
Still weirded out by the QSS first Shen. Not quite heavy breathing weirded out, but I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. I'm still waiting for the submarine play, just to say submarine more times.
We need more submarine. We need Haru to play more Rengar. More Shen.
Well, speaking of submarines, the Evelyn considering her options, but won't be going bot side. Twitch Shen was the OG submarine. That's gone.
He's hanging around. Have the Shen push forward very aggressively with this QSS. And perhaps then the Evelyn can move in through the control wards that are gone.
Feels like it's a very fine balance for Afreeca Freecs in this game, where they want to get strong enough on their Mundo that he can shut down Zoe and Ezreal, but they don't want to go long enough that the single damage profile is really held against them. 2 items, usually the way for the Vladimir and Galio comps, so they get a free Infernal, they'll take that. I'm going to be really inspecting their use of ults in about the next 2 to 5 minutes, because 3:25 is where you really like what Afreeca Freecs have put together.
Colonel Drake's going to be fantastic for them, especially for aiming. Our boy on the Vladimir picked up his Spellbinder, and he has the Predator, so you can have some really sick plays with the Vladimir, the Shen getting in there. Everybody just joining on in. You want your Vladimir to be as close as possible. The Electrocute is going to have less value in the lane against an Ezreal. It's just a whole bundle of fun from our aiming, who did get the first blood too.
Rite of Ages significantly delayed on Kuro, still doesn't have it. Are they baiting here? Kuro clearing a control ward in vision of Temp. But yeah, Rite of Ages completion probably going to be around 17 minutes at this point.
Not the best CSing under turret there from Crazy. Having trouble. He has his Feast if he needs any support.
Spirit has no camps, so been lying in wait for a while. I don't know if he's ever actually used his W so far this game on someone, the Allure. I don't think he's actually used it, because he's on camps he would have used it, but on an enemy champion, no.
Just trying to clear out vision. The Shen's been doing a really good job of that. Tucson, with his wonky item purchase, helps him to be more aggressive. But you have to think that if he's caught, even escaping CC won't matter too much.
Control ward there in the brush. Spirit lying in wait as Nocturne. They know what side of the jungle he's on. That's a good one. Feel like we're so close. We're on the precipice of action, but it's all being threatened rather than actually happening.
Jinx it now, Papa. We're 17 minutes in with 1 kill.
Look, I used the precipice word, not the excited word.
Yeah.
I'm very judicious about that.
We're almost there, guys.
We're so close to people
We're almost
dying.
at the climax of the action.
Well, I don't know if the climax or the apex of the action is necessarily what we're going to be seeing, but some action. That's what we promise.
I'm getting a little bit excited.
Ooh.
Just saying. I can almost taste the submarine right now.
What does a submarine taste like, Valdez?
You know that sub is actually a submarine because they look like submarines.
I didn't know that, but that makes sense.
Yeah, so there you go. That they taste like subs.
So what is
You've
your
been to
submarine?
Subway.
What is your submarine order at Submarine Way
I get the meatball submarine.
in Korea? The meatball sub here is not so great.
Well, yeah, I guess not here. I don't really eat Subway here. Oh, submarine way.
Submarine Way.
Yeah, not very often.
Well, this is the opposite of a submarine. The Zoe is much more conspicuous than the submarine. Spirit, he's in vision for once, and I'd just like to see him use his buttons. We've seen the hate spike a whole lot of times, but the other ones have been few and far between.
Ghost doesn't really do too much damage just yet. It's actually, well, he's going to miss that one, but Tucson, oh boy, going to get baited into that one, trying to dodge the True Shot Barrage, and Ignar says, hello, I'm playing Gragas.
USS not going to be very helpful there. Very squishy is the Shen. Goes down.
Oh,
okay.
We got some action. Evelyn getting in there, and, well, it's Evelyn. Good at disengaging, it turns out, so perhaps pretty good against a Trouble Bubble, against Nocturne that ultimate's on top of you. If the Cho'Gath gets too close, you can get away. Still trying to pick apart the reason why the Evelyn was picked.
Certainly hasn't been utilized for the Globals. Feels like 2 games in a row they've had obvious wombo engage and not used it. Game 1 and Game 3 of this series.
Oh boy, goes so baited into
The
that
submarine!
one. Has to flash away from it. Here's Tucson. See you later. Down goes the Ezreal rather. Ignar is going to go down too as Kuro shows up with his own TP down into the bottom lane. Finally, Afreeca finds something on the board.
They press their buttons, they get 2 kills. They'll probably be able to take a bot lane turret as well, but Trick on the top side going to take the Rift Herald, so it's not all in vain.
Yeah, the Galio has to go back to mid to save the mid turret. Should not go down here, although it is very low. First blood turret is going to go over, as you mentioned, actually split between everybody that was there.
Exhaust to slow down the Gragas as, you know, Ghost made a decision. Of course, he could not know the Evelyn was there, but isn't it a bit suspicious that aiming was tanking the minions that way? The answer was yes. The submarine is enacted. There's a billion people bot lane, and goodbye goes the bot lane. Ignar and Ghost in the death chamber.
Ignar used his flash to engage to get the kill onto the Shen earlier. It was Shen's revenge. That did come back to bite him.
And look at the bad back timing as well. Ghost doesn't even get the Mana Moon on that back. Had a long sword for lane power earlier.
Wait, nobody actually got the Rift Herald here.
Really?
As it timed out.
Really?
The Baron spawns.
Ah.
And yeah, well, that was really good timing by Afreeca. Not sure if that was on purpose, but it really worked out for them.
Usually in the LCK, I give the team benefit of the doubt, but no, that was just dumb luck, I think.
Yeah.
Can't
Seems
lie to
that
the
way.
viewers. Can't lie to them.
Yeah.
I think that was just a fortunate roll of the dice for Afreeca Freecs.
And Trick is still farming. He had the one ultimate onto the Evelyn. I mentioned earlier that that would be one of his only targets. This time it's going to be a Vladimir, though. The Kosk is going to go just entirely wide. Didn't even go close. And aiming gets out with just a pool.
Now lose the Cloud Drake for this. Couple members doing damage in the top lane, turret below half, but Afreeca were able to repel the mid lane and the top lane pushes and no Rift Herald. That many ands in a sentence is not grammatically correct, but it is macro correct by the side of Afreeca Freecs. And Spirit lies in wait once more.
That's what the Evelyn can do. Tries to engage early, but there it is. He is super squishy, and he dies to Tempt on the backside. Even the Galio couldn't save him. Now here comes Crazy, the flash forward into the Feast. This is going to take him out. Feasted a slight second too early, so he doesn't get the stack, but either way, gets the kill, and that's all that matters.
No stack, no problem. They're going to keep pushing through mid. The enemy team has no way to respond to this. The Mundo's not going to stop at the Shen. Well, he's on the flank, and he's a support. They rush through mid lane, 2 turrets to BBQ.
And all of a sudden, the game blown wide open. It looked like a bait from the Evelyn into the Zoe, but actually, it was the Evelyn who was baited herself.
It is Cleanse Zoe in the mid lane. Uses the E at the right time, but Cleanse instantly. The paddle star hits. It's Tempt having another big game. Because of how it happened, it looked like the Galio killed the Zoe, but actually was the Evelyn going down into the Galio. And now Crazy, he's a lot more like game number 1 than he's like game number 2 on this Cho'Gath.
He would love to chomp down on some objectives, though. Get up to those 10 stacks. He's only on 6. Not able to pick up the 7th one on the Galio. It's kind of unfortunate. It looks like a very free kill, but he tried to time it perfectly. Trick says no, that's my red buff. Oh, okay, this is a different type of submarine. Ghost, nice cast, though, to get him out of danger, but there it is. The flash on in from the Shen means that it does not matter in the end.
They really wanted that one. They get the kill. Predator into Tucson doing the rest. Plenty of burst left on this Aftershock Shen. Tucson looks like another day for him. He's not going to be in any way excited about that play. They want to get the turret from it, but BBQ are in a great position to repel, and you see some of the utility outside of ultimate that Nocturne provides. He has line wave clear and also does a lot of turret damage when he can use his Duskbringer, as we saw in the mid lane. Clear out some vision here. It's definitely a lot more of a seesaw than game number 1 and 2, as it's still unclear who has the true mid-game advantage.
So scary to get away from Predator Spellbinder Vlad. And the Shen is just doing wonders. That was the first 2 picks, actually, on the side. He is going to go in. Okay. He says, well, why not? Nobody else is here. And no Stand United either. All of a sudden, this turns into a kill. Most likely, the Trouble Bubble is going to land. Trick picks it up. And it just turns out that that was the perfect play because nobody was there.
And of course, everyone at home remembers at the same time that we do that there are no mid lane turrets at 25 minutes into the game for him to disengage to, so you might as well chase if you're going to be able to pull off a play like that. They had the flash timing down from Kuro, so he goes down. This game is so even after the perfect game was enacted by Afreeca in game number 2. We said that mid-game execution is where Afreeca had to win out because eventually their single damage profile has to count against them. Not sure if we're quite to that time just yet, but when it comes to the mid-game, the gold lead is still on the side of BBQ.
Take a look at this. They have vision down the lane, and they know that 2 members are top, 1 is bot, so I think that's part of the reason.
They lost vision, actually, and it was only till he walked on the ward that the Nocturne could actually go in. Went for the early use of the Spell Shield. Very hard to juke that one if you're Kuro, and your boy Galio was dead.
Great ward and really good game sense, you know, just knowing where the enemy players are. If perhaps someone was there to spot him and help him out, maybe he doesn't go down.
I believe that ward went down when they took the inner turret a couple of moments previously.
Ignar famously with the good ward towards the enemy nexus. That we called it an EU ward, right? I think even he called it an EU ward.
When we Sherlock Holmes, who was the one that allowed for the backdoor in that BBQ victory in spring? That was a memorable one.
Yeah. Crazy TPing in, taking out the Nexus from behind.
That was a great game.
It really was. I think if they didn't get the ward, they would have just lost the game too. Because everybody died and it was an awkward spot and the enemy team was pushing in. I forget who it was against, though. Maybe Kingzone. Not sure.
They did beat Kingzone.
They did.
2-1 in the first round robin of spring. But can't exactly remember that one. Valdez, do remember, or at least do understand that in this game, Ghost, despite being 0-3, is ready to go. The Mundo is really ready to go. And that's a problem for the side of BBQ because Mundo has 2.5 items and is very ready to try to trivialize Tempt or Ghost, but closing the distance, not always the easiest thing for the Mundo.
Yeah, he does have a lot of bodies in the way. You know, he will have the Cho'Gath as well as the Gragas to just be a front line, stun him up, silence him, slow him, all that good stuff. Maybe cask him away. Ignar's been really on point with his casks so far.
Shouldn't be a big surprise. He's been the biggest proponent of the support Gragas. 4 games, 2-2 so far in the season. Played it, I believe, first week of LCK Summer before it became a bit more normal in the past 2 weeks after Rift Rivals. Trick walks up, trying to control space. It's a very tense part of the game. Nothing to pick between BBQ Olivers and Afreeca in game 3.
Keen is caught, but is he really caught? It is Mundo after all. We trouble bubbled up. He's taking a lot of damage, but he still has a stopwatch. Notice that BBQ never fully commits. They just want to get his ultimate, and that's it. Because they know they've played against enough Mundos in their time on this patch.
Don't use anything to make it happen either. Trouble bubble onto the Galio.
Oh boy, aiming in a weird spot here. He's going to be comboed up, and there it is, the feast from half health. See you later, Vladimir. And that means now they're willing to engage. They're looking for Kuro. They want to give him his third death, and with the trouble bubble landing, nice Justice Punch after the flash to get him away, but they get the one kill, and that will be a win in the end anyway to BBQ.
Man, that burst range was huge. Crazy already level 16. Are they going to turn it into a Baron? It looks like no. They're going to be a bit more conservative here, BBQ. Mentioned that compositionally, the Cho'Gath, we've seen be frustrated in teamfights so many times recently, answers the Vladimir Galio with silence so powerfully. The Feast also is a great exclamation point to that analysis. And watch the replay here. You talked about how aiming was out of position. Ignar once again coming up big.
So clean.
It's really, really good play from Ignar. Feast comes in, 450 gold. They can't get any further kills, but BBQ Oliver's still going and slugging with Afreeca Freecs punch for punch.
Yeah, and the game will extend because of exactly this. I mean, you always, after the draft that Afreeca came in with only MR, you have to wonder, you know, when is it going to get too much? Or not MR, just magic damage. When is the MR going to get too high on the side of BBQ? Already double cloak on both Nocturne and Cho'Gath. Abyssal Mask finish for Cho'Gath. The Maw of Malmortius for Nocturne. Banshee Veil on Zoe, the QSS, and the Hex Drinker for Ezreal, and 4 Merc Treads.
What I want you to consider, though, is that I agree in terms of magic versus purchase, it looks bad, right? But consider that Afreeca can just split up the fight and try to kill Ghost or Tempt in the backline. They've got a lot of flank. They have the Predator Vladimir. It's really going to be about how BBQ fight as a 5, because even though the odds are stacked against Afreeca in terms of magic resist, if you are able to focus down Ghost or Tempt, the damage goes way down on the side of BBQ.
Again, it will come down to execution. BBQ has to be so careful how they engage on these fights. They want to get this ultimate out of Keen. There it is, but he's getting into feast range. That was close. He's not going to be feasted down as he's at full health. Maybe they look for another engage after this, as Afreeca couldn't find a good angle to go in there in the river.
So going through this mid lane, remember those 2 towers down much earlier, as we remember from the Nocturne pick. When it comes to map control, it's still pretty much on the side of Afreeca around Baron, which is frustrating. BBQ would love to fall back to that objective and then fish for kills with the Trouble Bubble or a Rupture. Not seeing that just yet. Game slowing down a little bit. For different reasons, BBQ will be okay with this. But coming up clutch in a Game 3 as a squad who picked up their first match victory last time out, that will be the sort of thing where suddenly, if you beat Afreeca today, you can at least have a real resolution that avoiding the relegations is what you want.
You know, it's definitely a long shot, and as I say that, Trick in a really awkward spot, looking to turn it around here. He's going to get low, but he still has a stopwatch, and now aiming's in the awkward spot. He's going to be swept up, and down he just go. Goodbye, Submarine. Both of them are going to be taken out. Double kill to the Zoe. And all of a sudden, this game is falling apart. A 5 for 3 now, or a 0 for 2, I guess you can call it, will mean the Baron that should go over to BBQ.
200 IQ bait comes through from Trick, goes into stasis, and they can turn it around. Blast Plant was taken away. Aiming goes down again with his summoners up. Like you say, easy Baron to BBQ.
And Keen not going to pull a Sowan. He will stick in the bottom side and try to find some value elsewhere by taking out an inner turret, but that might be it. He's still having trouble doing that even, and the Baron goes over to BBQ now, 3,000 gold ahead, and so much MR, and the Nocturne, it looked like he lived forever, and then he stasises. By the way, there are 3 other members on BBQ that still have stopwatch.
So many wards here, Trick down so low to begin with. They have the blast plan. They think that it's going to be in and out too easy. Spirit gets out with the last caress, but they clear out. They even get the bonus kill onto the Shen because he had come in trying to make up for the sins of his lane partner. Aiming may be at risk of his first loss on the Vladimir. 4-0 currently. Nice plays from BBQ. with the Baron, they have to get some easy objectives because right now, remember, we keep talking about the 2 turrets in mid. They actually don't have the other 2 outer turrets on the map.
Yeah. Well, the Cho'Gath's going to go into bottom side, should be able to take out that one. The rest of BBQ is heading on over to the bottom side of the map, so it looks like just a bottom push is going to be the way here for BBQ. No one in the top lane, actually. Aiming with TP is up here, looking to find some value elsewhere.
Sieging with Baron, Afreeca Freecs don't have a lot of wave clear, so they'd rather have aiming, get something on the map, than try to make this play work. They won't be able to repel 5v5 unless they hard engage, and if they hard engage against Baron, they might just straight up lose the game, Valdez.
Well, Trick went back. Tucson, you're going to have to QSS out of that one. Here's the TP. Trick is not here because he backed. He's nowhere to be seen, but there you go. The feast onto Tucson, the Shen, and the Vladimir nearly dies on the backside. They're zoning out Spirit too, but Zoe will go down. Ghost has to do the damage here. They get the stun onto Keen. And now they're chasing him down, and finally Spirit makes it back. He finds the Evelyn through it all. Is going to find it and get the kill. Now Mundo getting extremely low. Ghost has to flash away from that one, but a double knock into it. The flash as well as the True Shot Barrage is going to get a double kill at BBQ. They're looking for their second win here in the LCK.
They're desperate to end it right now. Crazy can go back, but he doesn't have the teleport, so there's no reason for him. Ghost will do the only recall. Do they have enough time? 40 seconds. I think they've done it, Valdez.
They certainly have 4 kills, and BBQ are going to be the ones to go on a 2-game winning streak. Unbelievable, taking out Jinair, and now they're going against Afreeca. The dream story is alive, guys, and well, as BBQ trying to end this one. Afreeca looking to make an interesting. Trick gets extremely low, and guys, it is Mundo.
Even Evelyn comes up now as well. BBQ haven't done it, the game still goes.
Okay, here we go, the game is still going on. A weird and wonderful night we will have. BBQ crazy now looking to go 1v3. True Shot Barrage is going to help him against the Mundo. I think
they can take down this raid boss, but this is definitely an epic raid.
It's a big one for sure. Crazy. Okay, there you go. Finally going down. It is Infernal Drake to the side of BBQ. I was already singing their praises, but it's not over yet. We got a 4,000 gold lead. They take another great Drake, but somehow, some way, the delay from the Mundo is enough.
Trick in the base, like you mentioned, was so pivotal in this fight. No ability to use the paranoia. Means that aiming gets backline access, but they get the first kill onto Tucson so early in the story. Not the ideal feast target, you have to mention. There's nothing for Spirit in the backline. The last pick, Evelyn, gets no value at the start of the fight. It's only heroics by the Mundo and the Shen to delay. Big taunt from Tucson was something that delayed the game. They got the kills, but they weren't able to close the game. Will it be so close, but so far for BBQ? The action rages on.
If they got the kill onto Keen instead of everyone else, I think the game just ends. It's the power of Mundo, goes back to full health with his Warmogs and just says, come at me, guys. I am ultra tanky, gets the support of someone else, and, well, it was enough. Now, the game's still heavily in BBQ's favor. Right, they do have this composition, all the MR in the world. Zoe's beginning to really pop off. Also 4 items with the QSS on the side of Ghost, who's very slippery, by the way. He hops away from the Galio, hops away from the Vlad. It's going to be really hard to get on top of him, especially with the QSS, with the front line they have.
Definitely agree. You can see how much damage Ghost did in the previous fight. The moment that Evelyn was answered and got no value, he was basically free hitting the entire time. The Ghost can definitely hard carry this game. Not something we've been able to say too often. He has been sort of player that's fighted to deceive in Korea. He's never lived up to the reputation he had in 2016 as this big, budding solo queue talent. But maybe today is the coronation. Maybe today is the day that BBQ Olivers upset one of the favorites for LCK Summer and start to once again mean this pack of teams below Griffin have so little to spare between them. Afreeca Freecs will only be able to say, well, Kingzone lost to BBQ and went on to win LCK Spring, but that is pretty hollow of a story as Spirit.
Yeah.
Doesn't get the... Oh, he does get it after.
Yep, there it is. Trick in a lot of trouble, looking to ultimate away. Is going to do some damage to aiming, but he will go down in the end. The cask is blown there to try to save his life, but it's too late. And this is Keen, level 18 Mundo, looking to follow up and get the kite on here. Look at the wraparound from Afreeca. Ignor trying to get over the wall, runs into 2 people. Spirit, though, might have gone a little bit too far. That's a really juicy feast target for Crazy. If he can get in range, and he's got his own stopwatch now. Kane is really going to be the key in this fight. Also aiming, looking to do that damage. There's the feast onto the Tucson, onto the Shen. Aiming getting very low. Love to get that damage down. Tempt is going to go down to Spirit, but he's going to pay for it with his life. Ghost versus Aiming, and Aiming will win it here in Afreeca. They turn it around somehow, some way. They don't really have a good lane to push, but they win the fight.
They win the fight. They will not finish the game because they don't have a minion wave pushing. And they have so many objectives to take down to Afreeca. Only 3 turrets on the board. 2 of those in the top lane. They back away, but that was the execution they were looking for. The flashes were down on so many members. This game is so close. Of course, the allure mark doesn't go down. The first ability doesn't register. I think Trick could have ulted a bit earlier to get away from the Goomba Stomp from the Galio, but the Hero's Entrance does register. And then there's just no way to fully disengage for the side of BBQ. Crazy goes bot ways. Ignor is with Crazy. Crazy was always going to need some assistance, but the assistance isn't enough to actually win the fight.
You can see that Crazy, he takes the easy target of the Shen. Feels like if I don't feast him now, then, well, I'm not going to feast anyone. But I think even the extra damage onto Aiming might have killed him. Not 100% sure. Either way, Ghost finally just taking too much damage as he wanted to follow up on the engage onto Vlad, but ends up paying for it with his life.
These are sort of mistakes in the late game that I said may warp the game towards Afreeca. Afreeca are certainly overall a more solid team than the BBQ Olivers. It is that reality that makes Afreeca such a fearsome opponent to face. With Trick going down, the 5v4, the corralling was very well done. The magic resist is still there. Actually being able to set up a coherent team fight is something BBQ have waxed and waned on in the summer season. We'll probably see one more of Aldez, and that one should decide the game.
It's been a wild and crazy day, a wild and crazy series. And Spirit on the Evelyn looking to get a win tonight. I mean, it looked impressive towards the end as he was able to 1v1 the Zoe, right? That was part of the reason I'm sure he picked up this Evelyn.
Watching the mid lane here, Nocturne knows his job is to mostly ward away the Evelyn because he has the ultimate to rejoin the fight if he needs to. No eyes onto Evelyn just yet. Spirit knowing his ranges very expertly. If Spirit could just assassinate Ghost on the back end, it may just win the game.
You can tell that BBQ knows about this. Crazy coming on over. Looks like he's going to go into the bottom side. But before, Trick was coming over with the sweeper, trying to see if he can sweep out any Evelyns from underneath the rug. Wasn't able to do so. But they have a decent idea that Spirit should be down in this location.
Baron set up. It's already started as Keen. He's going to be able to walk away. Still is Mundo, it turns out.
How did that control ward get there?
That was Spirit put it down.
Yeah, well, I'm sure that BBQ's thinking,
Yes.
hey,
Good point.
this is weird.
The ships in the night situation here is really obvious. Crazy is basically a spaceship. I didn't see how many stacks he has. I'm guessing over 10.
It's definitely getting up there. They have the one Mountain Drake of the game, BBQ, and they do have the Cho'Gath. So they're considering, you know, maybe we can rush down an Elder before Afreeca can get onto the Baron. When you look at their composition, Afreeca's, they have really awful objective taking damage, right? The Vlad's not going to be great. Galio's not going to be great. Evelyn's okay. You know, it's pretty good.
But this is the right place for Afreeca to set up because the Baron wards, the control wards are down for BBQ top side, and you can only have 5. There is only access to 5 control wards on a team. There is a control ward to spot them, but it seems like we might just see a trade. However, they pull back. Keen walks up. No trades allowed. Get off that phone, Keen. There's no trading here. Trading hours are over. It's almost midnight.
Yeah, the one thing I don't want to see is a full-on engage onto Mundo that fails because he just gets back to full health, and then BBQ just fall over and die. That would be pretty awkward. I can tell they're thinking about it. Good setup here for Afreeca. They have all the vision and Spirit waiting in the wings.
I love the fact that BBQ are really evolving on the fly against this Evelyn, and yet it can all come unstuck in 1 second.
Now, Evelyn not in the pit, so is gonna need to get over there somehow for the smite against the Cho'Gath, who is waiting. There's no blasting plans.
Trick is doing the right thing. He's still trying to zone.
Spirit could ult over the wall. Looks like that's what he'll try to go for if they do commit to this.
Can't see the patience bar on this Elder.
Oh, Spirit looking to come in on the left side. Cast goes down and it will reset. 43 minutes into the game and we still don't know who's going to be the winner between BBQ and Afreeca Freecs.
And that already is a story in and of itself, but BBQ desperate for the victory. Huge side wave. My lord, that's a big one. Only going to be partially cleaned, and that's less damage. In the team fight here for Ghost.
Spirit still behind the team. It will be started once again. Look at the position on Ignar too, up at the top side. Looking for another magical engage if he could find it.
Minions gonna get reinforcements and start to do damage. BBQ feeling pressure, they start up the Drake.
I love the positioning of Trick too. He says, if Spirit wants to come from this angle, I've got him. Can 1v1 him. That top lane still awkward here. Ghost looks like he might be the one. But the Elder Drake continuing to be leased here by Afreeca.
He wants to keep queuing, so he gets ult back to shoot it at the Minions. Minions doing a decent job, but not taking down the inhibitor yet.
Oh man, this is so tense. I think Trick saw him, by the way.
Look, it doesn't require a rocket science degree to know where the Evelyn is at, but I like that BBQ have been in the right spot. Eve's gonna get a chance now because Nocturne's mid lane. Here comes the Submarine, baby!
Submarine onto the back line, looking to get onto Ghost. He flashes over the wall and he gets to safety. The Tushin in a lot of trouble, but there it is. Galio coming on in to save his life. He is gonna get low, but down he does go. Aiming gets low too.
Ghost
they really want to
die.
kill him, but Ghost goes down. And Aiming and Spirit are alive. They really need to kill Aiming right now. It's Temp versus Aiming. And the two big meaty tanks in the front line. And it looks like nobody else is gonna die. They're just gonna disengage 4-on-4. Looks like Keen now gonna build his stone plate up. He's so tanky. Aiming is too scared to move on in. Now their stone plate is gonna be used by Crazy here. They are gonna get the sleep now, and it looks like they will take him out. No, he lives. The barrel can't even kill him. Oh my God, he finally dies. I'm losing my mind. I can't believe this.
They don't have a minion wave in the bot side, so they can't end the game, Valdez. The best they can do is to take the Elder.
Well, they got a free Elder, I guess. Let's delay some backs, because why not?
Oh boy, this game keeps on giving. The series that seemed like the cleanest 2-0 of all time has been so far from it. By the way, second game was a perfect game by Afreeca.
Yeah.
And now the Elder goes the way of BBQ. The Baron is probably going to be traded by the Afreeca Freecs.
Oh man. Okay, well they get the Elder, 2.5 minutes. The immediate run to the Baron, but let's see how this happened again.
Big submarine play from Spirit, but how much value does it really get? Actually, a double flash means that Spirit ends up in the middle of nowhere. Tucson goes down first. We've seen that before. So much plays happen, but Ghost gets assassinated. We mentioned that Mundo will run at one of Zoe or Ezreal. You would assume that Zoe being alive and Ezreal being dead will be the detriment of the side of BBQ. But actually, Teamfight Tempt, he's been great on this Zoe in the past, great on it here as well. Keeps going.
It's like a football formation, right?
It is.
American football, by the way. You get the two linebackers right in front of the quarterback. They got one big Cho'Gath on one side and then Fat Gragas on the other side. Zoe's right behind them. It's perfect.
You wouldn't say that to Gragas' face, but I take your point. The hand-egg gridiron action was top-notch. Spirit continues to be the ultimate voyeur, has spent most of this game chilling, looking for his time. Take that, Spirit. Yeah.
Spotted, actually, and burning from the Elder Drake. This is going to get awkward. Ignar is going to try to find him here.
They know where he is, but Teleport going to be invested. This is Keen.
Oh, he actually slips away. Teleport comes in, and Ignar says, no, we'll let him go. Okay.
It is past midnight, Korean Standard Time, 12:02. In the Nexon Arena, we've been here the better part of 7 hours and a bit. Broadcast live at 4:50 p.m. Korean Standard Time. EULCS pre-show starts in 28 minutes. Will we still be on the Rift in 28 minutes? I've gone 94 before, Brendan. Maybe this is your big day today, Valdez, to go long.
This could be the one. I've been waiting all my life. Look at this. Spirit's going to be spotted. Trying to keep him in vision here. The Kosk, though, is going to be dodged by a nice ultimate. Trades ultimate for ultimate. And it means that they're not scared of the Evelyn anymore. They're going to try to turn onto him.
Can they do this fast enough? Ignor's out of position, but they're going to have the feast. They're going to use it on the Adepta. They are.
There it is.
What does it mean, though? They have the Baron. They have the Elder Burn for 15 seconds. If Keen and the rest of Afreeca just disengage the Elder, there's still a team fight they win.
Afreeca looking to try to come behind them, but in the end of the day, they have Baron and they have the remnants of the Elder.
But who's flanking who, Valdez? We still don't know. They need to find a way for Ezreal and Zoe not to get shut down by the Mundo in particular.
Trick in the back line, still looking for the Evelyn, and now the recalls will come in. Look at the bottom lane, too, is pushing on in.
There's so many cannons to Zoo in the bot lane.
The Cannon Zoo for sure is down there, but BBQ in a fantastic spot now. We're after 40 minutes, and the Baron buff is big.
They have to know there's no true disengage. They have to know that Evelyn is behind BBQ. Oh, boy!
Oh, they're trying to get onto the stone plate Mundo, and he is so big. They don't have the damage to take him out. And now look at it, they're gonna get onto Ghost. They get him in the end, but down goes the Evelyn too. Tempt is still alive. He's still alive, but the flash comes in. They try to engage onto him, and they will kill him in the end. They get the Shen and the Cho'Gath is so big. They take out the Vladimir, and oh man, it looks like BBQ might be able to end this one, but the Galio is doing the damage in the back line.
Somebody kill this damn Cho'Gath, he's so big!
And look at the bottom side, they're pushing it in too. The Mundo is so low, and Trick is gonna flash away. And it looks like BBQ may have done it in the end. Galio is just way too low, and they take him out, Papa Smithy. It looks like BBQ has done it.
We got close before. Let's wait till this damn Nexus explodes.
BBQ, it looks like they actually might be able to do this. The Mundo's still alive. Just kill the damn turret already.
He's gonna have his ult back. No!
Oh man, they just want to kill him in the end, but he's still alive.
He's back. He's gonna be full health as well.
Just kill the Nexus here, guys. You have almost done it. Crazy. Just
no one can kill him.
Damn thing. Just kill the Nexus, BBQ, please. You're killing me, but you finally done it. 2-1 BBQ win in under 50 minutes. Just barely. They defeat the Afreeca Freecs.
How could we have known it would go this way? It was a perfect game in game number 2. And BBQ Olivers, with their season almost decided, they had no match wins 2 matches ago. They have 2. They're not done. They actually move up the ladder a little bit in terms of match wins. And everyone is incredulous. 12:06 a.m. in Korea, BBQ Olivers have upset one of the big favorites for LCK Summer 2018.
And that's not just even BBQ with the giant upset. That was one of the best games we've had all season, maybe even all year. That was unbelievably entertaining. So back and forth. Afreeca could have won it at any moment. BBQ could have won it at so many others. And man, it took 50 minutes, but you could see the disappointment on the side of Afreeca. That is not a game that is easy to lose.
Oh boy, what a game we had here at the Nexon Arena. Afreeca will wonder how they lost this. I think the draft in games 1 and 3 could have done some tweaking, even though the Evelyn was doing a lot of work by the end. BBQ Olivers, though, it means so much for their season. They picked off the Kingzone Dragon X in spring season. They pick off Afreeca Freecs in the summer season. Their season looked done just 2 matches ago. Now we know there's plenty of life at both ends of the table, as clearly Afreeca Freecs have a lot of work to do to live up to our billing.
We get the slow zoom out on a extremely disappointed, a crushed Spirit in the room. As he's listening to the coach, he's saying, nay, nay, saying, yeah, I know. And, well, you gotta wonder whose choice it was to go for the Evelyn. I feel like his play was stellar on the pick, but just, man, it's such a crazy game from the draft to the end. It was unbelievable.
All we can say, at minimum, is that Afreeca made their job difficult with the last pick Evelyn, because it really did bias them into one single profile. I think it was a few weeks ago, Graves would have been considered there, because Kindred, of course, was banned out much earlier. Everyone packs up their stuff here. It was definitely a crazy game. Not necessarily a macro masterclass like game number 2, but you need a bit of variety in your palette. We can't just have perfect games left, right, and center. The perfect game for the BBQ fans who have been suffering for so long this season. I'm not even sure who's going to pick up the MVP. There were so many people holding up their hand for the BBQ Olivers.
You know, it's in the end, I would have to choose either Tempt or Crazy. I feel like the Cho'Gath play was low-key doing so much for them.
Ignar and Ghost both had great games as well, though,
yeah.
So it's a tricky one. May just go with the damage dealt from Ghost, but man, Ignar had a monster performance on the support Gragas.
It really did. Tempt team fighting on the Zoe, he was near perfect, I'd have to say. Just that W followed him all the way through the Galio ultimate, as Tempt wasn't even on the screen anymore, got the kill.
What a breathless game. Had no idea it would go this way. BBQ Olivers versus Afreeca Freecs. First round, easy 2-0. Second round, surely, just once again, roll it back, easy 2-0. BBQ got those 2 mid lane turrets. They couldn't get the side lanes forever in this game. We were able to clean up a lot of kills, and we had an even game at mid game. We had an even game in the late game, and it favored BBQ to a point. It was still very easy to assassinate one of the Zoe or the Ezreal, and for them to run out of damage. They got both of them in the final fight, but the Cho'Gath just couldn't be denied.
So many clutch moments in this game. We're going through them in the highlights. Trick with the perfectly timed stopwatch to avoid the damage from the Evelynn ult. That probably would have killed him. And this was a big team fight too. Trick goes back and they see it, so Afreeca says, hey, this is our moment. But even at this fight, it's what almost won BBQ the game.
Ignar was really good at keeping Evelynn out of the backline this time out. Could have been a much more costly fight. A bit of burst damage, and that last caress does way more damage to Ghost. From here, this is where Trick, of course, was in the base. He had already completed his recall, but they were able to clean it up. We thought the game was over. We were spared that reality, though, as the Mundo and Shen keep the game going. And by the end, hard in the mouth stuff. No idea whether BBQ Olivers or Afreeca Freecs were going to walk away with a series victory.
This is another huge fight. They knew the Evelynn was behind them. He kind of gets out of the fight. Tucson just barely survives, and Ghost goes down super early. They commit so much to get him. Aiming gets super low. The double stopwatch here, and then Tempt. The 2 linebackers eventually formate. They form the line in front of the Zoe, and they go from front to back. Eventually run them down.
So many moments where this game could have gone one way or the other. Crazy, so damn immovable on the Cho'Gath. Didn't see his stacks at the end. Just like a late game Kindred. I'm sure he was around 15 or 16.
I love the bugged out health bar. It's not really bugged out, but it just looks really crazy when you do the stone plate Cho'Gath. It's pretty unbelievable.
Wonder if you can have a light SpoTV interview after a series like that. Be nice to talk to BBQ for the first time winning on the Nexon Arena stage in a very, very long time. It had been a 2-month break between victories when they picked up that win last time out. This was the last team fight where Ghost went down, Tempt went down, but Crazy and the gang just about able to close it all up.
I'd say it's a toss-up probably between Crazy and Ignar. So many good engages from Ignar, as you would expect, but Crazy with 3-man silences, perfect knockups, just Cho'Gath that never dies. It was definitely a top-notch Cho'Gath performance and Gragas performance. Would love to see more of Ignar's Gragas here after today, especially.
Really easy on the eyes game. The macro certainly wasn't immaculate on either side, and it's the sort of game where the Afreeca coaching staff would have enjoyed it the least because it was just so blow for blow, so even, so bloody. It's not what they would be looking for in a series. Looking at the damage out, Mundo did bloody 51,000 damage. While those cleavers are doing a lot of damage on the Cho'Gath, that's for sure.
Somehow the Shen found a way to do only 4.2 in 50 minutes, but again, it's Shen.
Well, what a game. What a game. 4,000 damage in 50 minutes. But yeah, as you say, Shen cannot be talked about too much there. BBQ Olivers must be just over the moon to pick up this victory. What a week for this team.
Wow. Okay, let's take a look at who the MVP was from game number 3. whoever it was, I will call them well-deserved. I'm just curious to see who SpoTV chose. Is going to be crazy on the Cho'Gath. Definitely did a lot of things that may fly under the radar, but his Cho'Gath was off the charts.
And in a struggling season, it's his first MVP. We'll get to hear from him. That's going to be nice for the captain of BBQ.
Yeah, so guys, I'll hand it over to Ji-Sun, and we should have a long, extended interview with the BBQ Oliver's players.
Thank you very much. This is Ji-Sun with your interview translation, and today we are joined by Trick and Crazy from BBQ Olivers.
저희 한번 모여볼까요?
Can we all gather?
BBQ 리버스의 팬 여러분들 가운데로 오시죠.
Come to the center of the seats. Congratulations on your win.
승리에 죄송합니다.
I'm sorry, I thought you were talking about birthday. I'm sorry, I just confused. Thank you.
저도 그렇습니다만
It was a long match.
승리 축하드려요.
감사합니다.
네, 승리. 미안해요. 지금 목이 약간 쉬어가지고. 이런 경기가 나올 거라고는 아무도
No one could have expected this kind of series, right?
3세트 다 온도 차이가 너무 세가지고 이게 무슨 경기에서 물어본 거보다도 승리
So how do you guys feel right now?
한번 드릭 선수가 해줄까요? 승리 소감.
일단 저희 준비 좀 많이 했었고.
We really prepared a lot for today.
승리.
I just came in with a very clean mind today, so that was how I was able to pick up the victory today.
예전부터 물론 주목을 받았습니다.
And crazy, you know, everyone knew that you were so good in top lane, and today you finally carried the game. How do you feel?
장기전 좀 했는데.
It was a long match, so it feels really good to end in the end.
그렇죠. 특히나 지난번 사실 그 진해영의 대한 승리를 따냈었을 때도 당시만 해도 아직까지.
So last time when you guys picked the victory against Jin-Air, well, everyone was a little bit doubted about your performance, but today Jin-Air was performing really well. So how did you guys feel?
저는 딴 팀 상관 안 하고 저희 팀만 생각하기 때문에.
Well, I actually don't care about other teams. All I care about is BBQ Olivers.
저도 이제 승강전은 딱히 생각 안 하고.
Where I'm not really thinking of the relegation yet, so we're just trying to focus on our own plays.
얻을 수도 있을 테니까 워낙 좋은 장면을 이제 BBQ 올리버스 팬 여러분께 좀 선사하는 것 같은데요. 사실은 내용이 엄청 많아요.
We have a lot of questions for you guys.
일부러 좀 길게 좀 보여드렸거든요.
A lot of highlights clips.
두 분께서 대답할 수 있는 상황이 아니면.
If you guys don't remember, we have all the BBQ players here, so we can have answer from other players also. Let's have a long and extended interview.
기억나시는지 모르겠는데 좀 길어가지고 1세트에서
So in the first game,
상대 정글 쪽에서 대기에다가 이제 갱킹 들어가는 장면이 있었거든요.
so you camped in the bot lane and pick up the kills. You remember? Yes, I do.
일단 제가 녹턴 위쪽 올라가는 건 알아요.
Well, I knew that Nocturne was heading top lane.
대기 타면은 대기.
So if I camp here,
충분히 잡을 수 있어.
I thought that we would be probably pick up kills here. So I think we made the victory over there.
네네.
네.
저는 될 줄 알고.
I knew that we were gonna win.
이 부분에 대해서 확실히 좀 있었군요.
And waited for quite a long time.
여기에 오더가 있었을 때는 탑에서는 무슨 일이 있었죠?
And what was happening in top lane at that moment? Well, I don't remember.
이런 거 아니었습니까? 네, 그때는 자기가 하고 있었던 그런 장면들이 있었고 그 다음에는
Moving on,
바론 시도 중에서
when you guys were trying Baron,
상황이 있었잖아요.
Ignar was kind of trying to keep the opponents out of the Baron zone.
치는 것도 일단 약간 멈췄거든요. 그때는 뭐 어떤
What kind of shot call went back and forth?
전부터 제가 잘못 오더해가지고
Well,
그렇게 됐는데.
I made a bad shot call over there.
좀 혼란스러워.
So I think we were all confused.
어떤 부분들이 좀 몰랐어요.
일단 바로는 먹어야겠고.
Well, we were kind of rushing to get the Baron, but Ignar got caught out, so we were really confused.
잠깐 멈추자는 판단이었는데 이 장면이었죠? 이거 팀 콜과 함께 진행됐던 것 같은데요.
네네.
그래서 이그나 선수가 이제 뒤로 좀 돌아오는 와중에서 여기가 약간.
So Ignar was trying to keep the opponents out, but he actually got cut out, right?
봐주려고 했는데.
네.
We wanted to cover him, but we all just melted down, so it was kind of sad.
이그나 선수 괜찮아요. 저희가 초상권은.
So Ignar is crying, feeling so bad.
아니 잘했어요. 나머지 너무 좋았어.
But you did well today, Ignar.
대해서는 이그나 선수가 거의 MVP 투표에서
In Game 3,
그 정도로 진짜 잘했어요.
you were close to being MVP for Game 3.
잘할 수도 있는 거지 뭐 그거 뭐.
We all make mistakes, right?
안 그래도 돼요 이그나 선수 전혀. 네, 굉장히 민망한 표정을 짓고 있어서 말씀드린 건데요. 근데 1세트에서도 이런 장면이 있었죠.
And game 1, Rakan stole the Baron with the smite from the unsealed spellbook.
그 장면이 굉장히 좀 마치됐을 것 같아요. 그때는 뭐 팀 내에서 무슨 얘기가 있었어요?
And Rakan and Shaco went back and forth at that moment.
기억이 안 나네요.
I've got no memories left. Sorry.
기억나시는 분? 아 기억나요?
I remember.
일단 제가 JA한테 스마 쓸 자신 있냐고.
Well, I asked Crazy if he's confident with the smite.
먼저 써줬는데.
So I kind of smited first,
네.
but it ended up in a bad result. I think Afreeca made a super play.
요 장면, 아직 요 장면은 상당히 좀 날카롭게 들어가는 바람에 이건 어쩔 수 없었던 그런 부분이 있었습니다. 근데 이미 여기에서는 뭐 차이가 좀 나와 있는 상황이라서.
Well, you guys were in a lead anyway, so
그 다음은 뭐 경기들이 좋았으니까.
you guys were able to pick up the victory in the
크게
end.
당황하지는 않았었죠.
네, 뭐 뺏기고 나서는 그냥.
After they stole it, well, I hit my ult, so I killed them with my ult.
느낌으로 공격적으로 풀었던 그런 장면들이 있었네요. 사실 그 BBQ 리버스는 2세트가 어떻게 보면
Game
좀
two.
있었을 것 같아요. 2세트는
It was a big loss for you guys.
활약을 좀 못 보여줬었잖아요.
You know,
그때는
Afreeca was
중반
kinda
이후로
dominant.
이거 바라볼 수 있는 공간들이 그렇게 많이 없었던 것 같은데 그때는 그 내부에서 무슨 일이 있었어요?
저희가
So-
좀 픽을 하는 과정에서 서로 꼬여갖고.
I think we made a mistake coming up to the team comp. You know, we had kind of some bad draft, so we didn't have any priorities.
네, 그게 좀 아쉬웠어요.
I think that was our biggest mistake.
코치진들을.
그러니까 일단 그 내부에서 뱀픽 상황에서 약간의 좀 미스가 있었네요. 그래서 순간 이동도 이제 잔뜩 들고 시작했는데 그게 좀 활용되지
So I guess there were some mistake in the pick and bans, right?
보란이 3세트를 잘 풀어냈으니까.
But moving on to game 3, you guys did pick up the injury. So any questions from the casters?
크레이지 선수 초가스 1경기 때
네.
So the choke-out on the first game.
하면서 기존의 템트리아는 좀 다른 모습 보여줬잖아요.
Well, you kind of went for unique item build.
상대로만 그런 템트리가
So is that against GP specific or is there your own idea?
같은 경우가 이제 좀 레벨 높아질수록 클리어가 많이 빠르잖아요.
네.
Well, I think GP has a really good wave players as long as many. But I think GP has a really good wave player, so I want to just catch up with the wave players. So I ended up with that kind of item builds.
볼 정도로 그때 아이템 선택이 굉장히 좀 비슷했던 것 같습니다. 혹시 질문 있으세요?
Any questions? Oliver's players or the fans?
해도 돼요. 뭐 궁금한 거 있으세요? 아니 뭐 어차피 너무 오래 남아주신 팬 여러분이 계시니까.
Well, you guys stayed up long time for BBQ Oliver. So any questions from the fans?
딱히 없어요.
Nothing specific. I'm good. It was a speechless, perfect game for game 3, right?
질문 있는 것 같아가지고 그래서 넘어갔다 왔는데 어쨌든 그 3세트에 관련된 내용은 또 말씀을 안 드릴 수가 없습니다.
So moving on to game 3,
이건 이미 그 BBQ
they locked in Evelyn.
비교였잖아요.
그때도 좀.
Well, we did play Evelyn in the previous games in this split.
이블린에 대해서 저는 좀 알아가지고.
Well, I know a lot about Evelyn, so we were able to counterplay against him.
굉장히 탄탄하게 좀 구축돼 있었던 장면들이 있었잖아요. 그때는 이제 한 2세트에서 어려운 좀 약간 빈곤한 초가스를 보내고 난 뒤에 이제 세 번째
So
세트였잖아요.
after having hard time, moving on to game 3, were you confident about playing cho'Gath?
세트 같은 경우는 이게 저희가 주도권이 너무 없어가지고 제가 뭘.
Game 2, we had no priority at all, so I wasn't able to try any plays. But Mundo, yeah, it's not a hard matchup, so I think I played quite well.
생각보다 굉장히 잘 버티는 장면도 있었는데.
But Mundo seemed quite tanky in the games.
잘 커서 그럴 거라고 생각하긴 했어요.
Well, I didn't
어느
expect
정도
that.
계산에는 들어 있었던 그런 장면이었다. 이블린 얘기를 또 안 드릴 수 없는 게 장루 대치 상황에서 그래서 뒤쪽에 이블린이 계속
So Evelyn was in the backline trying to assassinate the player. So what kind of shot calls went back and forth?
전투 구도를 잡기가 쉽진 않았던 것 같은데.
일단 저희는 거의 알고 있었거든요.
We knew that Evelyn was trying those plays
그래요?
where he would be.
그래서 제가 한쪽 틀어맞고.
So I was just trying to block him.
생각하긴 했던 것 같아요.
그쪽 위치는 이제 어느 정도 유추하고 있는 상황인데
네, 네.
진영 구축.
Yeah, I could expect his locations.
네.
이 부분에 대해서는 뭐 혹시 궁금한 거 없어요?
Any questions
이블린이요?
from the casters?
3세트 전반적으로.
저는 그러니까 최근에 크레이지 선수한테 궁금한 게
I have a question for
문도가
Crazy.
판을 치고 있어요. 이제 LCK에서는.
I think Mundo is an A-tier champion currently in LCK.
초가스라는 픽을 떠올리게
So,
된 계기가 있다.
How were you able to come up with cho'Gath in top lane?
일단 문도 같은 경우는 이제 좀 몸이 들어가는 챔프잖아요.
네.
이제 초가스 같은 경우는
Mundo, you have to go inside, but Cho'Gath, you know, you can protect your carries.
각주면 플래시 궁 같은 걸로 이제
And when you see the angle coming, you can put a lot of damage with your ults. So if you want to protect your team, I think Cho'Gath is a good champion.
그만큼 초가스에 대한 능력치 또 잘 활용할 줄 아니까 오늘 그 팀 동료들도 진짜 대단한 활약을 했었잖아요.
And all the other players also did a lot of work in games.
오늘 이 선수 우리 말고도 이 선수는 한번 찍어서 좀 칭찬해 주세요.
So is there any player who deserved the MVP?
다 잘했지만
저는 템트 선수.
I think Tempt.
미드에서 3경기 때 좀 라인전에서 죽을 것 같았는데.
Well, I think he had hard time in the laning phase in mid lane, but he kind of overcame all the hard times.
고개를 살짝 이제 목내는 장면인데 지난번에 아주 조이로 한번 폭발하고 난 뒤에 오늘도 굉장히 생존력에 대해서
So another great performance on Zoe from Tempt.
이제 라인전에 되게 잘해주는 것 같아서.
I think our bot laners, they are also strong in laning phase, both of them. So I am so proud of them.
왜냐면 실질적으로 지난 진에어 같은 경우는 승패와 상관없이 보조가
Yeah, especially in the last match against Junior Greenwings, they were so dominant against Junior bot laners.
올리버스가 이제 승리를 따내면서 오늘 또 그래서 연승이 됐습니다.
So BBQ Olivers, you guys are on a winning streak.
정말 그 연승이 전에 진짜 어려운
Before that, you guys had a lot of hard times. So, and your next opponent will be SK Telecom.
어떻습니까? 할 만할 것 같아요?
What are your thoughts about that? I think we can still win.
승강전 갈 생각 이미 했기 때문에.
Well, I think we are about to go to relegation, so I just want to do my best facing against the 4 bottom teams in LCK.
경기를 끝까지 재밌게 하겠다라는 BBQ 올리버스의 강력한 매운맛에.
So I guess Trick is never giving up, and Crazy, you want to add on to that?
저희가 연패를 많이 했는데 일생이 어렵지 이제.
Well, we have a long losing streak, but we have now winning streaks now on, so we're going to continue on this.
연패만큼이나 연승도 맞닿아 있는 거 아니겠습니까? 지금 최근에 어려운 경기를 많이 펼쳤습니다만 2라운드 분명히.
So I hope they can perform better in the second round robin.
그 흐름들도 한번 기대해 보도록 하겠습니다. 끝으로.
Lastly,
팬들의 여러분들에 대한 마음도 있었고 그리고
you know, there are a lot of fans out here.
개인적으로 응원해 주시는 뭐 가족 여러분들도 있어요.
And also your family must have been supporting for you guys for a long time.
이 기회를 빌어서 혹시 하실 말씀
Is there any last message you want to send out?
네, 그래 선수.
저는 맨날 경기하기 전에
Every time before games,
부모님이랑 이제 이모들이 맨날 힘내라.
my parents and my aunts always help me to cheer up.
다음에는 이제
So
힘내라보다는 이제 잘했다라는 말 좀 많이.
I hope they can say well done after upcoming matches.
힘내라는 단어 자체가 때로는 약간 버거울 때가 있었는데 지금은 잘해라라는 얘기에 버는 이게 승리에 가까운 장면들을 계속 보여주고 싶다라는 크레이 선수의 얘기가 들었습니다. 자 이렇게 해서 12시 25분이 돌파됐습니다.
12 past 12 a.m. in Korea.
지금 여름에
Very late in night.
가장 치열한 경기에 이제 마감이
And
됐는데
BBQ Olivers finally picked up victory. It was a very unexpected upset from BBQ Olivers picking a victory against Afreeca Freecs, and I will pass it back to our casters. Thank you.
Thank you, Ji-sun, for translating that one. It's been a late night, another 6-gamer in a row here, so unbelievable results. And they get finally a winning streak. Actually, for the BBQ Olivers, they had a losing streak of 10 games in a row. Now it's time for 8 wins in a row. You think it's possible, Papa?
No, I do not. But I am still impressed with their performance today, and you see that everyone involved in the top 5 just can't help but lose recently. King Zone's on the way down. Afreeca Freecs lose here. We're going to go through everything a bit quickly. Tomorrow we have a huge, well, today I guess, we have a huge match day. Griffin versus KT. Griffin looking for revenge on the only team that beat them in the first round robin. SKT versus Hanwha Life. SKT have already dropped one series this week. If they drop that one as well, the playoff dream, it's not technically dead, but the signs of life will be basically gone, Valdez.
It's on life support, basically. You're like trying to keep it alive, but you need to do crazy scientific things to keep it alive. And, well, that's not where you want to be as any team, especially a team that has just so much history behind it. SKT definitely want to make it into the playoffs, but it's so competitive, right? It's so hard to make it. We'll see if maybe some other teams at the top can lose to BBQ. That would definitely help SKT's chances.
If you told me at the start of today's broadcast how it was going to go, I would not have believed you. The amount, we had our hearts in our mouths, just getting as close to the monitor as possible to watch that. The team fight to the end there was crazy. So thank you to BBQ and Afreeca for another weird and wonderful series. I've said weird and wonderful so much. It's become my statement word because what else do you call these games? Some people would say fiestas, and at times they have been, but they've definitely been varied in the picks that come through. Sometimes they make perfect sense, sometimes not so much.
Yeah, weird drafts here and there, games that were lost on it, right? Even this series, game one kind of draft went BBQ's way, they win game one. Draft went Afreeca's way in game two, went their, win for game two, and now game three. And it was pretty even, and it was a very even game, went down to the wire. I want to thank you guys for joining us for the entire super long day that we did have today. It was a pleasure for me and Papa Smithy. We'll see you guys next time. Definitely join for Saturday over at OGN. We'll see you guys here on Sunday. Until then, see you later.
I see you always wanna go somewhere to waste your golden soul. I see the smile you never show. Oh no. Oh, when the morning sun, when you lose yourself searching for the dawn.
It's been many days, many ways misled, knowing that I'm tiptoeing on both sides of the fence, trying to figure it out, but I'm living in doubt. So scared one day that your grace might run out, cause I'm so far from perfect, so close to worthless, feeling no good for worship, trying to understand this life that you purchased. Am I just a man destined for death, or do I deserve it? You died for my sins and that's the verdict. You carried out God's true will and purpose with urgency for the sake of love, forgiveness and eternity. Your grace is enough. I got so many questions, so many things to change. I'm calling out, but sometimes you're far away. I get discouraged and seem to always fall flat, but that's when you pick me up and bring me back.